Hello, this is Dan Terrence. This is video update number 7 of Embrace the Journey. It is August 19th, and as you can tell, I've downloaded OBS software to be able to do this video with showing something other than my face in the whole screen. Okay, let's just jump right into what I call the quick tip. Use the spelling to get the KW in there for you energy geeks out there. I was on Twitter the other day and I saw this tweet from The One Thing. That is a book that really talks about the benefits of focusing on one thing, and it's a pretty interesting read. I would recommend it if you get a chance. But this tweet was, everything doesn't matter equally, yet it's easy to get caught up in the little things that keep us from the most important work. And what are you letting little things cheat you out of the big opportunities? I think a good example for me on kind of this focus was when I was a co-chair of a nonprofit subcommittee, and everyone in the room was talking about these great things we could do. I think we had a list of 15, 20 items, and I just kind of pulled back and said, we have got to focus. Yes, we're not going to get there as fast as everyone wants to, but we are a volunteer group with full-time jobs, and we're not going to get anything done if we try to do all of it. So we focused on two things, and we got those two things done, and it was successful. People enjoyed it. We were able to do a good job on those sessions, and that is, I guess, the benefit of focus. And I think you can do that too in your work, at home, that there are things that you get caught up. We say yes too many times. We do need to focus and be able to do what we do successfully rather than doing half a bunch of stuff, half good. All right, let's get on to the energy industry update. This is from a research report prepared for the U.S. Department of Energy and the EPA. It was done by Lawrence Berkeley Labs. It came out late last year. It's really the cost of saving electricity through energy efficiency programs that are funded by utility customers, and the focus was 2009 to 2015. But in some research I was doing to try to find cost effectiveness of various programs, this was perfect, and I thought that some of this information might be insightful for those of you running efficiency programs out there. I think first, if we look at the market sectors, on the left is the residential programs, on the right are commercial industrial. Residential are actually more cost effective at 2.1 cents for lifetime cost of the savings versus commercial industrial at 2.5 cents. The real driver of that, though, is the lighting rebate, which is at just a 1.1 cents per kilowatt hour. And that is very cost effective because going through retailers, you can do millions of light bulbs at a small incentive to get people to buy up and install energy efficient lighting. It's easy to do, but that savings is going to be dramatically reducing over the next 5 years. We've already seen some states cease having their LED programs, and there'll be more of that happening in 2020. Although there are many states that will continue to have savings on the A lamp, the more common screw-in light bulb, through 2022 or 2023, as well as specialty lamps. I think will play a much bigger role to kind of keep that program going for the next 5 to 7 years. But we will need to, as an industry, look to replace that savings in other places. So without the lighting rebate program, residential programs are more costly than C&I, and it's likely we could see some money in these programs move over to the C&I market. One thing I want to mention in the last program item there on residential behavioral feedback, that is based on 1 year energy savings. So, and this is a lifetime. Many of these other measures are 10, 15 years. Even up to 20 years on some more mechanical systems and such. But if the behavioral feedback type program was able to use a 2 or 3 year lifetime, that could dramatically drop that 6.6 cents. And we are seeing many more programs go that direction to really embrace kind of customer engagement. One other thing to mention that's not shown here are low-income programs at about 10.5 cents, and that's about 9% of the total funding. So across the country, residential, commercial, industrial, low-income, the total overall is about 2.5 cents. A couple other interesting things from the report, kind of the timing and the increase by year. In 2010 it was 2.2 cents, in 2015 2.6 overall, which builds in about a 3.5% annual increase in cost effectiveness of these programs. So that is, I thought this was interesting to pass along, and hopefully you do too. Let's get to the final kind of more personal item. And this here is assumptions employees make when they don't get feedback. And you may have already seen them when I clicked on the wrong part of my presentation here, but I just wanted to look at the 3 items, one for each, and this comes from an article. I'll put the link to the article in the description of this video. But if employees aren't getting feedback, so if you're a manager, it's about how your employees might be feeling, or it could just be you. And when you don't get feedback, what are some of the things that you're thinking? Number one, the story goes, as long as I'm not creating trouble for my manager, I'm doing just fine. Well, obviously that's a problem if the manager is setting the bar of expectations that I just don't want any trouble employees. I think that we really want to get people engaged, right? And to do that, you've got to they just want some attention. But if you're not giving feedback and the employee's telling this kind of story, you're also setting up where they may not come to you with any challenges that they're coming up or any problems or opportunities. You're not going to hear from them because what they're trying to do is stay in the safe zone of not creating any trouble. Number 2, the story goes, my manager doesn't think I take feedback well. Well, it could be the way we provide feedback. We hear a lot about constructive criticism and other things, and it's our job as managers to give feedback to our employees. But part of what the type of feedback that we're giving, it's tough to rate employees on things, especially like annual ratings, performance reviews, when the category is already nebulous and hard to describe. For instance, what is strategic planning? And how do you know if someone's really good at it or not? So if your feedback to someone is, you suck at strategic planning, where did they go with that? And maybe that's why someone who gets that kind of feedback doesn't take that well. But you can talk about how you felt about something. So when an employee does something, made this decision, you can say, when you made that decision, I felt like this. And that's something they can't argue about because it was your feelings. And that is the way to provide good feedback and to provide the attention. And it allows you to have a discussion then with an employee. And that can go both ways, the kind of the feeling. Last one, story number 3. My manager doesn't think I can change. And maybe you don't think this employee can change, which is in the end going to make you right, because you won't work with them and coach them to get to a point where they can change and contribute to the expectations of the role. But I think here is probably a little bit about a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And I believe I talked about this in one of the other videos, that having a growth mindset, the basis of that is believing that people can learn. And if people can learn, they can get better. they can change, and they can contribute to the success of the program, of the company, of the team. And so having that growth, if you have that growth mindset for yourself and you believe you can learn, that's what humans do. They continue to have this ability to learn. And so you should have that same mindset with all employees. And all employees are different. They learn differently, right? They have a different perspectives based on how they grew up and where they're coming from. And part of that, this feedback is to have those discussions, get their perspective, understand that, and believe in the growth mindset that they can learn, that you can learn, and together you can make them a better member of the team. All right, that's it for today. Hope you have a great day. We're getting, I'm not going to say it, I was going to say we're getting close to the end of the summer. I hope to get another one of these done yet in August, and I've got some bigger ideas for September on some other topics that I want to take on. So my 3-thing agenda might get thrown out as I move forward. But let me know if you like this and not seeing my face every day. I know I can put my face in the corner somewhere, and I intend to try to figure that out, perhaps for the next one or the one after. All right, take care.